Hi, friends. Hi, Landon. Hi, Cadence T. Hello, Jack and Henry. Hello, Harper and Cadence and Darby and Graham. Hello, Preston and Bailey. And hello to any new friends who might be with us today at Storytime. Well, here we are at my house. Oh, hello, Maya. It's so great to be together again. So what have you been doing since the last time we got together? Have you been playing? Have you been being good? Okay, very good. Today we're going to read two books. One is about a sweet little mermaid named Pearl, and the other is about a narwhal named Kelp. Hey, did you find out what a narwhal is? Did you check on that? Great. I have some facts about narwhals that I'll be sharing with you later. But for now, let's start with Pearl by Molly Idle. Oh, this is Pearl. There she is. In the vast sea of blue, some mermaids watched over the waves, breaking upon the endless beaches. Some kept an eye on the great coral reefs. Some tended to the towering forests of kelp rising from the ocean floor. And some guarded the giants of the deep. And Pearl deeply yearned to be one of them. "Mother, am I big enough to help too?" she said. "Yes, Pearl," her mother considered. "Come with me. I have something very important for you to look after." They swam up and up and up, past the breaking waves until the sandy shore stretched all around them. "This," said her mother, "is yours." She placed a single grain of sand in Pearl's hand. "Yours to care for every day and keep safe every night." "But Mother," protested Pearl, "you said I could help with something important." "The smallest of things can make a great difference, Pearl," her mother replied. With that, Pearl was left alone. A wave of disappointment washed over her. She was surrounded by thousands of grains of sand, millions, billions beyond counting. And here she was entrusted with just one. Her heart grew heavy, and the weight of it pulled her down, 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 where the salt of her tears mingled with the sea. Pearl glowered at the grain of sand, and she clenched it in her tiny fist. Then, from beneath her fingers, came a faint light. But when Pearl opened her hand, it was gone. Pearl closed her hand around the tiny grain again, gently this time. The sand resting on her palm had a luster to it that had not been there before. Every day, Pearl preserved it, she polished it, and she played with it. And every night, she protected it, and slowly, very slowly, it began to grow and grow and glow. And as it grew lighter, so did Pearl's heart. It seemed to buoy them up and up and up until it rose into the vast sea of stars. beamed up at it. It beamed back. Its light touched everything. It sparkled on the breaking waves and the coral, creating new reefs. It glowed in the tides, flowing through the towering forests and illuminated the giants rising from the deep. And it shone upon Pearl. The end. Did you like that story? I think that it's wonderful that something so small can turn into something big and beautiful when we give it lots of love and lots of care. Little things really can make a big difference. The next book I'd like to read is called Not Quite Narwhal by Jessie Sima. Are you ready for this one? On the cover, I see what I think is a narwhal, and his name is Kelp. Kelp was born deep in the ocean. He knew early on that he was different from the other narwhals. His tusk wasn't as long as everyone else's. He had different tastes in food, and he wasn't a very good swimmer. But his friends didn't seem to mind, so Kelp decided he wouldn't either. That is, until he was swept away by a strong current. I wish I were a better swimmer. Kelp found himself at the surface, closer to land than he'd ever been before. High up on a cliff, he spotted a mysterious, sparkling creature. It looked so familiar. It looked like Kelp. Kelp swam toward land as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that he could catch up with the creature that looked just like him. When he finally reached the shore, Kelp felt a little bit anxious. He had never left the ocean, and he was nervous about walking for the first time, but the land creatures made it look so easy. It wasn't. Oh, ow! Eventually, he got the hang of it. Everything on land was strange and beautiful, but also kind of scary. Kelp began to think he might never find the creature that looked just like him. But as he stumbled out of the forest, land narwhals! Actually, we're unicorns. And by the looks of it, so are you. Look at that. Land unicorns everywhere. Kelp had never heard of unicorns before. They taught him all kinds of new things about his tusk. We call them horns. Wow. They introduced him to unicorn delicacies, and they showed him how to gallop. There was no doubt that Kelp was, in fact, a unicorn. He was having so much fun that he didn't want to leave. But then he remembered all of his friends under the sea. Kelp missed them terribly, so he said goodbye to the unicorns and returned to the ocean. Come back soon. Kelp swam toward home as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that the narwhals would still like him now that he was a unicorn. When he finally arrived, Kelp had butterflies in his stomach. Kelp! Kelp took a deep breath and told his friends the news. It turns out I'm not a narwhal. Of course you aren't. I'm a unicorn. We all knew that, and they took it quite well. Kelp was happy to be home, but now that he'd experienced life on land with the unicorns, he couldn't seem to forget them. Did he want to be a land narwhal with the unicorns, or a sea unicorn with the narwhals? Kelp couldn't decide. But then he realized that maybe, just maybe, he didn't have to choose. And there's Kelp, playing with the unicorns on the land, and his friends, the narwhals, in the sea. The end. Kelp found happiness in being with the land unicorns and with the sea narwhals. I guess it just goes to show that those who truly love you just for being you. So in real life, what is a narwhal? Do you know? Did you check on that? Good. A narwhal is a kind of a whale with a very long horn called a tusk. Narwhals are sometimes called the unicorn of the sea. They can weigh 2 tons and they can grow to be 16 feet long. That is longer than a car. But the amazing thing is their tusk, which is actually a tooth. Can you imagine? Only the males, which are the boys, have the tusks, and they can be 8 to 9 feet long. So the fireplace behind me is 6 feet wide, 6 feet long going that way. So their tusk or their tooth would even be longer than that. That's pretty amazing. So why do boy narwhals have this very long tusk or tooth? Do you know? It's not for breaking the ice or spearing fish. Those are great ideas, but that's not why. Do you think it's for stabbing their enemies? Nope. Do you think it's for poking around looking for food? No. It's a good idea, but they use sonar for that. Scientists actually don't know why narwhals have the tusks. Some think that maybe the tusk can check or determine weather forecasts, and that can help them steer clear of really cold water or salty water. But the experts really aren't certain. I guess narwhals are part of the mystery that is the ocean. I'd like to show you 2 crafts that you can make at home. The first is this very special narwhal tusk. Do you see that? All right, so this is how it looks. And mine is not 8 or 9 feet long, but it's still pretty cool. If you would like to make a narwhal tusk like this, you just need a piece of paper, and you can just get a piece of colored paper if you have it, and kind of roll it up a little bit, and you want one end to be pointy and the other end to be a little bit more open, a little longer there. And when you roll it up just right how you want it, you can just put some tape like that. The next part is really fun. You can find some things around the house to decorate your horn. So I used some little square sequin things and glued those on. I had some ribbon left over from Christmas, so I glued some silver ribbon on, and I even put on a little glitter glue. You guys can put anything that you want. You can decorate it, paint it, find whatever you have around your house to decorate your horn. Then take a strip of paper for the headband, and you'll just tape horn onto the headband, place it around your head, tape it to the sides of your head, and you can be a narwhal too. Do you remember the first book we read about Pearl, the mermaid? You can make a mermaid with just 2 pieces of paper, markers, foil, and some glue. I'll show you. So this is my mermaid. Do you think she looks like Pearl? What I did was took 2 pieces of paper, one for her body and then another one for her tail, because I just couldn't find a piece of paper long enough. So I made kind of like, let's just look at the bottom. I made kind of a shape of like maybe a fish, just like that, and cut that out. And then I took some aluminum foil, which you probably have at home, and cut that out around the piece of paper and glued it on there, okay? Very simple. I took some markers and started coloring the mermaid's tail with all different colors, blues and greens. I used a little red and some yellow and kind of colored all those colors together. And every now and then I take my finger and kind of blur the colors together. And then at the end, I took a marker and did my very best to make fish scales, just like that. And that is the mermaid's body and tail. Now that other piece of paper, I did my best to make the shape of a kind of a girl. So she has a head and hair and arms and her belly. And I painted and colored there a little bit. And then I just cut that off and glued the mermaid girl to the mermaid tail, just like that. So again, super easy, 2 pieces of paper, some markers, which you probably have, foil, and some glue. Very easy. So those are some crafts that you can make at home. Try making the narwhal horn, that was super fun, and the mermaid if you like. I had a really fun time with you today. Did you guys have fun? Good. Let's all stand up and do our affirmation together. Are you ready? Are you standing up? Okay, good. Now repeat after me. Are you ready? I am great. I am smart. I am strong. I am loved. Today's gonna be a great day. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next Wednesday here in my house for fun on the farm. See you then, guys. Take care.